to discuss the new proposed East Wren Council Employability Support Services Employability Framework, obviously covering the 5-stage pipeline approach for the delivery of a wide range of employability services, both within the council but also within East Renfrewshire as well. So just to give you a bit of a background in terms of the economic development team. So we are split into sort of 3 main sections. So obviously people, looking at the employability side of things. Really, the rationale, driving force is really supporting our local people into work, into vocational training, but also at the same time helping reduce unemployment within East Renfrewshire. We also have a place team as well, looks at town centres and neighbourhoods. Again, looking at to increase and improve town centres by increasing footfall, making our town centres more attractive and accessible and amenable, but also looking at the surrounding communities and neighbourhoods of those town centres as well, and how we can provide capital and other investment to help improve those areas. Then we have the business team. The business team covers our business growth team, again looking at primarily providing grants and loans advice to local businesses, but also linked to that we have the business gateway team as well. So really all about providing a wide range of support and advice, both to our new starts but also growing businesses as well. And then in with the business team we also have our tourism team as well. We really look to see how we as a council can make better use and attracting more visitors to the many natural tourist assets within East Renfrewshire. I say, obviously, us who have been involved in economic development in the past, critical to the delivery of our services is by adopting a community wealth building approach. So again, making sure that we are taking recognition, of our communities and various stakeholders, and making sure that any wealth that comes into the area is then more equally distributed within East Renfrewshire. So, crux of the matter, obviously, is the employability framework, and our team, Work East Wren, will be responsible for the delivery of the framework and also those services coming from the framework as well. So, Work East Wren are the council's employability team, but also council lead on employability as well. They work with a wide range of local residents who are 16 plus into vocational training, but also sustainable employment as well. Again, in terms of the sort of priority cohorts, in terms of who we work for, obviously, looking at those who are unemployed, who have never worked, or currently, in work, but looking for, a better labour market position as well. And then, obviously, those who are underemployed, but also looking to upskill in order to find better paid employment. In terms of the delivery model, we also work with our clients on a one-to-one basis. So each client would then be, assigned a client advisor, like to sort of for one-to-one work, but also in terms of we do a wide range of vocational training, which tends to be delivered on a group basis as well. I think probably critical to our success and obviously sort of way of working as we do work and actively encourage working with a wide range of partners, both internal and external, just to make sure that our clients actually get the best support available to them, and best signpost them to what other support services are required to assist them. So we also come on and do support to local businesses in terms of vacancies, recruitment, jobs fair, aftercare as well. And we are a SDS service provider for the Modern Apprentice programme, primarily with a large number of childcare AMAs, both internally and externally to the council. So in terms of a bit more detail, in terms of the services provided for individuals, so again, we will work on a one-to-one basis with our clients, really sort of getting them to a job ready status, making sure that they are ready for the world of work. Also help those who are unemployed, look for a new challenge, and again we do offer a wide range of vocational training programmes, particularly via our current framework, which is funded via the European Social Fund programme, which then comes to an end at the end of 2022, obviously with the implications of Brexit, etc. So we have a fairly decent track record in the vocational training programmes, and really engaging with upcoming and growing sectors, and making sure that our clients are best positioned to then take advantage of upcoming opportunities and jobs within those sectors as well. So I had mentioned before, yeah, each of our clients would be assigned an individual client advisor and provide a wide range of employability support, particularly around sort of CV development, interview, training, you know, and any other additional support and any signposting to other services as well. In terms of our offering to local businesses, currently we offer 2 employer recruitment incentives, dependent on age. That could be up to £4,000 towards salary, travel or equipment funded via the One Left Behind programme. We also have a new employer recruitment incentive via the Scottish Youth Guarantee programme as well for those 16 to 24-year-olds. So we do work closely with the Business Gateway team. We also work closely with the Chamber of Commerce and the Business Improvement District within East Renfrewshire, really to sort of help promote local vacancies and then put our clients forward for those vacancies, which obviously entails an element of employer engagement, but also job matching as well. And we do also have an aftercare team in place as well, just making sure that, you know, we are helping our local residents maintain and progress within the workplace. In terms of the recruitment of staff as well, we do have, you know, pre-COVID, we've made 2 or 3 job fairs per annum. Again, you know, local businesses from East Renfrewshire, but also within Glasgow and the sort of Paisley area as well. And again, if there's anyone who's interested in, you know, self-employment, then we will obviously actively signpost them to our business growth and business gateway teams as well. So that's just a sort of graph in terms of, you know, what we're sort of doing in terms of the sort of services provided. So again, you know, sort of client management services are fairly generic, stage 1 to stage 5 of the employability pipeline. Business liaison, again, you know, that's our sort of main work with the local business community, both in terms of promoting advertising vacancies, but jobs fairs as well. Have a dedicated job brokerage team. We have the Family Firm programme. It's for care experienced young people. So that could involve, you know, some pre-employability support, but ultimately getting young people into employment. Have a specific programme in the current framework, helping address those issues, those people with health as a barrier to get into work. A wide range of vocational training programmes. So in the past, this has been around sort of growth sectors like sort of retail, you know, into security guarding as well, sports, etc. Then also, you know, a dedicated programme for 16 to 24-year-olds, which also includes access to the Modern Apprenticeship programme. Currently, we do some dedicated work with our Syrian community in terms of pre-employability support, but also, you know, vocational training and helping them along their journey into sustainable employment. Then within the No One Left Behind programme from the Scottish Government, we do a wide range of support around disabled parents, but also parents as well, and providing a wide range of support to get them into work. And obviously through the PACE programme, also provide redundancy support to those individuals who are either at risk of redundancy or who have experienced redundancy recently as well. Through other partners, we provide specific employability support for those with ASN. Mentioned in the previous slide, we have 2 employer recruitment incentives. Really, you know, our rationale is we provide obviously financial support to help our people into employment. So the employer recruitment incentive programme would be solely focused on making sure that that person is an East Red resident. The business could be, you know, from anywhere within the Glasgow City region. And again, also looking at self-employment as an option moving forward. Again, work closely with the Lorna and our team is the delivery of community benefits. So that's the Council Sustainable Procurement Policy in terms of sort of larger scale contracts and what benefits should be coming from that. So there's a heavy link to the likes of job placements, job tasters, modern apprentices, but also jobs coming from those contracts as well. So I'm pretty sure that everyone is familiar with the 5-stage skills pipeline. This is obviously the model that's encouraged and delivered across Scotland, and we as a local authority are no different in terms of what our approach to the delivery of employability services are. So, looking at just some of our recent achievements over the last sort of 6-7 years. So, over 140 young people, care experienced young people into employment, supported as well. We have, you know, over 200 over 50s into work, and over 3,000 people in general have been helped into training and work by Work East Ren since 2003 as well. So despite obviously East Renfrewshire being a fairly fairly small area, I think in terms of the work that we do as a team, and obviously the achievements we have, that's something we're looking to obviously keep with, but also improve through this new employability framework as well. Now, in terms of employability, or the delivery of employability services, I'm always of the opinion that employability can't be delivered in isolation. So for us, it's obviously the national, regional, and local drivers that actually drive forward our work. So obviously the new approach by the Scottish Government in terms of no one left behind. We have our employability strategy, which has been updated. We have the Glasgow City Region deal. Within East Renfrewshire, we have a capital programme of £45 million of capital investment. So how do we as a team ensure that the people of East Renfrewshire are then better positioned to uptake these upcoming opportunities? We also link with the child poverty, the locality planning process, as well as the outcome delivery programmes for the council. But again, linked to that in the middle is the Get to Zero agenda. So how do we, as a council, but also as an employability team, take recognition of those opportunities coming from Get to Zero and making sure that our residents have the skills and qualifications to then go for those jobs. So in terms of the framework, so obviously it's open procedure. It will be advertised on PCS's, says Public Contract Scotland. So if you haven't signed up to that, obviously advise you to do so. Now, in terms of timescales for that, in an ideal world, we would hope to get this advertised on PCS on Friday. There are a couple of things we need to just double check with procurement. So we'd hopefully get that out pretty soon. Duration of the framework is 48 months with an annual allocation of up to £800,000. Now, when you're also reading the tenders, there'll be some caveats within the invitation to tender in terms of what the council would then either procure out or deliver internally. And again, as you'll know, that funding amount is then subject to approval from the Scottish Government in terms of the grant allocation to the council, also with the Young Persons Guarantee Programme, and then also for the council bidding and being successful for the UK Prosperity Fund, which will in effect replace the current European Social Fund programme from 2022 onwards. So in terms of the lots, so lot 1 is engagement and barrier removal and everything that entails. Lot 2, vocational training and work-related skills, which is the larger part of the budget. And then for job brokerage and work-based qualifications and progression is 20% from that. So again, given that we work with a wide range of priority cohorts, we'll also be seeking, a wide range of specialism mainstream providers on the framework. So again, the type of provision that we are getting is also determined by service user and also the social economic conditions that we're experiencing both at a local level, but also a regional and national level as well. So if, for example, there may be a requirement to actually change those percentages and spend, given the change in the social economic conditions within Scotland or the UK, then we will actually then do so. But we'll also advise those successful bidders as part of that process. So, depending on the funding that we get from various sources, this will then determine what the payment model would look like. So, currently within the ESF framework, we use a fixed price contract in terms of delivery of services, but also progression towards outputs and results. There may be a service fee, or it may be a stage payment, or it might actually be payment by results, which is probably our least favoured option. However, will be dictated by the external funding requirements from those funders. So in terms of the documents, for those who haven't been through the ITT process before, will obviously be the instruction to bidder, which basically is the document that explains, the framework and timescales and submission requirements as well from yourselves. We'll also outline what we as a team are going out to market for and what we require in terms of the delivery of employability services. And then we'll have a technical response, which is your response, your basically sales pitch or sales document as part of the technical response and how you meet our requirements. And then from there would also be the pricing as well. So tends to be the split is 60-40. So 60% for the technical response and then 40% for the pricing as well. And then obviously from there, there'll be the standard contract agreement between the procurement team and the successful bidders in terms of the framework. But then from the framework, you know, we would then enter into a far more detailed service level agreement, which explicitly outlines what we're required to do, which priority cohort we want you to work with, what are the expected outcomes, and also the payment model as well. So again, after you bid, just as a sort of, you know, those who haven't been through the process, so obviously you go through PCS, Public Contracts Scotland, making sure that you have that administrative compliance. You know, do you meet the bidder eligibility? Have you responded to all the questions in full? Making sure that there's no grounds for exclusion, and then, you know, if there's any declarations required to be signed as well. From that is then looking at the economic and financial standing of the supplier, and that will be detailed within the invitation to tender. And again, then stage 3 or gate 3, we would then make sure that, you know, the suppliers have fully responded to both the sort of technical and the price evaluation as well. Now, moving forward, I've been involved in numerous, both employability, but also business and capital invitation to tenders as well. So really sort of just for myself is to sort of share, you know, the sort of top tips in terms of going through that process. So obviously, you know, we would look for bidders to answer all the questions, keep sentences short and to the point. Then, you know, depending on how the question lay out, then there should be that logical flow from obviously sentence to sentence, including that narrative. So for me, it's all about how the bidders tell the story and how they, you know, understand the requirements of the invitation to tender and how they are then best positioned to then deliver that on our behalf. And again, you know, don't assume prior knowledge. We have worked with a wide range of contractors. However, you know, that is then, you know, put to the side, and it's then this is a new framework, and we treat everyone as a new bidder. So we would never assume, you know, advise bidders to assume no prior knowledge. So again, you're looking at, you know, what sort of grabs the sort of scoring panel's attention, what the sort of clinchers, and then sort of backing that up as well. Now, I know in the world of economic development and also employability, it is quite difficult to, you know, avoid jargon and acronyms. But again, if you are, you know, just fully explain what they are. Now, one of my pet hates is spelling mistakes. I'm of the opinion, if you're bidding for a bid, then you sort of bid best for it. But, you know, you also need to be sure that, you know, you guys will be helping doing CVs, job applications, writing on behalf of our clients. So again, making sure that there's no spelling mistakes. And again, I think they need to be understanding of what is the unique labour market situation in East Renfrewshire, both in terms of challenges and opportunities as well. Again, looking at, you know, up-to-date case studies and relevant case studies as well. And I think also when we're doing the scoring, particularly around the sort of the delivery and the methodology of the questions being asked, is making sure that the CVs that you're submitting reflect the skills and experience and the competencies that we have set out across the various lots as well. So I think that's probably a critical thing to actually keep in mind as well. And because we as an employability team, we don't deliver ourselves in isolation. We work very closely within the wider economic development team, both in terms of business growth, business gateway, the community benefits, but also town centre neighbourhood regeneration as well. But we also work very closely with a wide range of internal partners such as education. We also work closely with the likes of Skills Development Scotland, Scottish Enterprise, the Chamber of Commerce, the 3 business improvement districts within East Renfrewshire as well. So I think also when you're going through that question, it's having that understanding and knowledge of the local area in terms of what's happening within East Renfrewshire, both in terms of challenges, but also opportunities as well. And again, what I've came across in, you know, several submissions is, you know, people submitting personal opinions. This is a factual documentation, so we would also ask bidders to keep, you know, just answer the questions as they are. outlined in the ITT. So again, just a few other tips from myself. So again, if the question is asking for bullet points, then you adopt these as subheadings. And again, just if there's multi parts of the question, just break it down into the separate elements, then explaining it fully. And then please address each of the points in the same order as they appear within the question, within the ITT. So again, tips for myself would be, be definitive, write with conviction, positivity, be positive, focus on the benefits and advantages. But if you are doing that, then, making sure that you're giving that evidence of success as well. And again, for us, it's really sort of using sort of positive language as part of your bid to the council. So I think really for myself, sort of just really to sum up, I'd say, this is a sales document, so it's always, the onus is on the bidder to best bid for this work and, put yourself in a good light in terms of go through that sort of process and sort of doing that. And again, I wouldn't be wasting any time, putting, some information is which the question doesn't relate to. And again, really, it's your job to then sort of, have a scoring panel to make sure that we buy your solution, to our delivery of employability services. So again, just sort of finally for myself, for us and for myself, I'd say, why do the sort of tenders not win? Because obviously you've actually failed to answer the question. You haven't looked at the full specification and what's required. Not enough detail around those answers as well. And again, looking at, provide evidence via the CV in terms of what the competence should be in terms of the delivery of the services. And that also sort of links to the sort of not the sort of right people being involved in looking again at the sort of sort of pricing from that. So and that works both ways, both in terms of the high scale but also the sort of lower scale as well. And again, if you've obviously any eligibility criteria within the IT, is then sort of not complying with that. So that's everything from myself. So thanks for your time. I'll just minimise the screen and then we'll also take a look at questions.